Hello, how are you? I am going to try to explain to you what this tutorial is all about. There's been a lot of problems still with UWP, with people not understanding binding in UWP, which is a little bit different than WPF. And it's not horrendous, but the biggest problem seemed to be the Treeview, which I got right over here, and binds its little heart out. As we're working with it, just like WPF. The whole issue, I believe, is that the Treeview, unless you download or install WinUI2, you cannot bind to a selected node. You have to actually do this functionally in the background in the code. And for some reason, a lot of people don't want to install it. Well, WinUI2, I actually had a problem installing this project. I was going to try to do an example, but I was having some problem with it. So I've used it a lot. I've used it in Project Reunion and stuff, but I haven't been able to use it with UWP. Although I've used Win2D with UWP, I'm having a problem using Win2D with Project Reunion or Windows App SDK. The whole tutorial is we're basically going to create this little vector graphics editor in UWP, which you shouldn't do unless you are using Win2D. We need just a few more acronyms. You know what I'm saying? We just need a few more acronyms to make this a little bit harder to say. But unless you're using Win2D, because with UWP's vector graphics, you can only do a rectangle clip. And that just kills it. Kills all functionality that you really want from a vector graphic application. So with that being said, that's what we're going to do. Now, this project was inspired by a project I've done in the past. See if I can't get it up here. This is an old WinForm project using GDI Plus. And I actually like this. I was playing with it just a few minutes ago. And it is kind of silly, I guess, in many ways. But exports, I can export everything to SVG, to PNG. And of course, I can save it to a local data file. I even had a library set up on this thing so I could save things shapes I was constantly using. I could just reuse them really quickly. But this is a kind of the project that we're rebuilding. Not entirely, because SVG doesn't really allow full clips. I'll show you a full clip. So, translate segment. Yeah. So if I put this over here and I say, I want to give it a different color, just so we know it's a different one. And then how did I do this? Okay, so I want to set a clip to the U. And then I'm going to say clip only. Oh no, I crashed. It's been too long. This is an old project, so let me try that again. Freeform. I'm going to add a circle. I'm going to add a square. There we go. And I'm going to translate selected item. And I'm going to say set clip, set U. I've done it again, same place. So now I'm actually debugging my old project. I don't have time to debug it. But needless to say, this was a cool project I done a long time ago. I actually done some perspective views in it. You have to manually sort. You can try to do a sort, and it will get a lot of the time. But it's just GDI plus. It's nothing else. And you also can manually sort stuff. Let's see here. Left back, that should not be in the front. So, and you can turn on auto sort. It does, just basic stuff. And then you can export this to a SVG. So you have all your different values there, and let's see what else I'd do to it. Actually had a color wheel, cube, a spare. It does not sort very well. At that time it did sort really well, huh? It's not currently, is it in perspective? No, it's not actually, now it's in perspective mode, okay. And hexagon for hexagon games, let's see, put you in perspective mode and sort it. Oh man, that's just too close to the camera. There we go. You gotta move it away from the camera a little bit because it's not actually doing culling. It's just doing it's just doing the sorting. Let's see here. What's that? I don't know. I had all kinds of stuff in here. Dungeon wall, very simple. Anyway, we're not going to get quite this far unless I get a lot of subscriptions off this stuff. But otherwise, we will be doing 15, I think. Reload, yeah. Ah, there we go. Look, foot depth, both feet, yeah. There we go. Well, you can see the Z buffering doesn't totally work because it is not possible to totally work. But over here in this project, we will be bringing a bunch of stuff. We'll be bringing all the 2D stuff over to here. And the objective is to actually teach binding. So whenever you click on this guy, you see these. These are list views. They're fully bound. The tree view is bound as far as you can bind a tree view. The text box is bound to the tree view and is working perfectly. I saw recent updates, as recent as October of this year, October of 2022, that said that didn't work in UWP. It does work. This is straight UWP with none of the mods, none of the GitHub add-ons, and works perfect for me. I'm critical of Microsoft a lot, but there's nothing really wrong. There's nothing really wrong with this application. I mean, with UWP. It is going away, but a lot of people still have to maintain it. And what we do in here, we can do in WPF, and we can do in Project Reunion. And that's the objective, really, is to get a good basis to jump over to that stuff. And it's just very basic. Very fun. And it will get you very familiar with data binding in XAML. Everything won't be exact between here and XAML, but it will be very close. Maybe I will do between here and WPF. But like I said, I plan on also updating this tutorial to at least Win2D, but probably to Project Reunion. One of the major reasons I didn't do it right now in Project Reunion. Let me get to the right form over here. Bring up my Solution Explorer. Bring it into View. And that is, click up here. Say, I'm not going to actually add a new project. But if you go down to the WinSTK, well, first of all, UWP, those projects for the Project Reunion for UWP, or for the Windows Store, will be UWP projects. It's just that UWP will be going away, but if you notice, they're all experimental. And if we go over to the Windows SDK or WinUI, it's all experimental right now. Well, almost all. You got the first basic applications, and these are all desktop applications. That's great. But if you're either aiming for the Windows Store, or you actually want to do a big project, these are ready for prime time, but they're not ready for the Windows Store, I guess. Maybe that's why the Windows Store is beginning to allow full native executables on. These will be then targeted towards the Windows Store. Okay, so I will finish this project. I'll post it to YouTube. I'm posting it to Odyssey first. I'm doing this project as partially a reaction to Odyssey, to what people watch over there. If you don't like and subscribe over on YouTube, you have no influence on you have no influence on how the project goes. Like I said, I'm doing this in response to Odyssey. So if you like this, if you're on YouTube, I'll post it there after I get finished with Odyssey. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. You know, I was in the U.S. Army Signal Corps for 8 years. I've been in IT since 1988. So I've been working with Microsoft stuff professionally since 1997. I had Visual Basic 3.4. I had Visual Studio or Visual C++, I believe 1.52 and 4. I believe they released those at the same time, or maybe it was, I think it was 1.5211 or some crazy number in 4. And I've worked with Borland. I've worked with all of them, and I'm just trying. And if you like this, if you want to see this all the way through, if you want to see it all the way through to actually creating an SVG exporter, doing clips, and bringing in Win2D, like and subscribe. Thank you. God bless.